The Walking Dead is finally back for the creepiest half season of television since the Jinx. The Whisperers are here, and after taking 4 showers, we're ready to break down all the amazing ways Season 9, Episode 9 compared to Robert Kirkman's comics. I'm Woody Tondorf, of course I killed them, and this is Panel to Screen. First up is the aftermath of the Whisper attack from the mid-season finale. As we mentioned in our last panel to screen, the cemetery attack which led to Jesus' death was a lot different in the comics. Although there was an ambush by the Whisperers, it didn't happen in a cemetery, and Jesus didn't die! Fuck! Still upset. The Whisperers attack another group of heroes, leaving Dante and Ken as the lone survivors. You guys remember Ken. He was the guy who died saving horses. Anyway, Jesus, who's still alive, heads out with his friend Darius to find Dante and the gang when they don't return home. So Michonne, Magna, and the gang are not involved in this at all. On the way back to Hilltop, Daryl and the gang get jumped by a pack of Whisperers on a bridge. They handily kill all of them except one, a teenage girl. I bet her name is Lydia. Daryl rips off her mask and decides to take her prisoner, even though Michonne wants her dead for killing Jesus. The body's not even cold yet, guys, and we're already talking about murdering people in the name of Jesus. A similar scene plays out in the comics. In issue 134, Jesus and Darius also get attacked by Whisperers by a bridge. Just like the show, they butcher everyone except the girl who is taken prisoner. Also, Darius gets super stabbed during the fight, whereas in the episode, everyone makes it out with barely a scratch because they just polished their plot armor. Shiny! Now to the episode's B story. Negan goes walkabout. In the show, Negan escapes his cell, for some reason waits for morning, and then climbs up the fence. Judith catches him but decides to let him go, but not without giving him a moral compass. Negan tries to enjoy his newfound freedom but quickly becomes quite lonely. Luckily, he finds friends in a store. They're just 3 rabid dogs that want to maul his face off. Anyways, he eventually returns to Sanctuary and finds it empty. It's all very depressing until Judith tracks him down and convinces him to return home. How does she get to just walk out of there on her own, by the way? That makes no sense to me. So how does this go down in the comics? Well, it's complicated. First, in issue 140, Negan does find his cell unlocked, but he decides to stay to prove to Rick that he can be trusted. But the plan backfires and it only pisses Rick off. Those two, when are they just gonna kiss, right? Anyways, his adventure in the episode actually mirrors his adventure much later on in issue 174. Following the Whisperer War, Negan is exiled from Alexandria and, like the show, also finds himself lonely in the wilderness. Maggie tracks him down to kill him, but finds he's worse than dead, so she spares him. Sound familiar? That scene already happened in episode 905. Remixes are fun. Adaptation is hard. Next up is the fan favorite storyline, Rosita's pregnancy. In this week's episode, we find out she's pregnant with Sadiq's child even though she's dating Father Gabriel. Awkward. In issue 141 of the comics, Rosita reveals she's pregnant with Eugene's baby, but we later find out it's actually Sadiq's baby, even though she's dating Eugene. Also awkward. Even though Rosita isn't involved with Gabe in the comics, the show still manages to give us that weird love triangle fans have been longing for. One last note, like the comics, we did see Eugene try to profess his love to Rosita, but for now, she's with Gabe. It's because of the ponytail, Eugene. You know it, we know it. Cut it off. Hey, what's up with our prisoner? Glad you asked, Woody. In the show, the group finally returns to Hilltop to bury Jesus and lock up Lydia. Daryl gets angry during Jesus' funeral, rushes into Lydia's cell, and threatens her life in like a really fun Jack Bauer way.
Look at me! You're gonna tell me everything I want to know.
She tells him her people just kill because they have to, but it's just her and her mother. Daryl says, fuck that, slams her against the wall, and Henry begs him to stop. This is pretty close to what happened in the comics, only with different characters. In issue 135, it's Jesus who locks up Lydia and interrogates her. She doesn't say much, so he leaves, leaving Carl, not Henry, to ask if she's okay. You see, Henry, aka New Carl, is also a show-exclusive character who takes most of the comic Carl storylines. It's fine. Henry's fine. Finally, the ending. Luke and Alden, who left to search for Eugene and the gang but ended up getting sidetracked talking about their awesome indie band, get ambushed by a female whisperer pointing a sawed-off shotgun at them. She tells them,
Trailland's here.
In the comics, the same thing happens, but it's to Dante and Ken, and the woman says, don't move. Which line is better? Bitterly argue in the comments. We like to watch it. Anyway, we all know the mysterious woman is Alpha, the leader of the Whisperers, and don't worry, we'll learn much more about her next episode. And that wraps up our comic show comparisons for the mid-season premiere. Which comic moments from the episode were your favorite? Let us know in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe to Skybound. I'm Woody Tondorf. Robert Durst's tape confession is inadmissible in court, and we'll see you for another panel to screen next week.